After a year of mask wearing, isolation, and a barrage of daily news reports of lost loved ones, it's safe to say, no matter where one is politically, COVID fatigue has set in. Yet some people have not, will not stop giving. When the virus hit in March of 2020, they were compelled to action and haven't stopped since.
So you've got all this food, and then what?
Well, the room wasn't ready at the high school yet. So I took the little bit of food that I had collected and I opened right up here on my porch.
You opened up a pantry right on your porch.
Yes.
Tell me how that worked.
Well, for the first couple of days or first couple of weeks, there really wasn't any traffic. It wasn't until the newspaper got a hold of it and did a story that people started to bring in more donations and more people started to stop by.
How many folks do you think you've been able to touch with this pantry during the pandemic?
Oh, man. I'm not even completely sure, but I know I have served over 2,000 meals.
Who are you? What kid does this?
I'm not really sure. I care a lot about the community. Everyone deserves the chance to succeed, and food shouldn't be an obstacle for that.
We meet up with Mary and Tina at a local supermarket as they shop for one person who is homebound with medical issues and a special needs child. Today they are buying her dietary supplement drinks. As they were checking out, we noticed they were buying this with their own money. And this is something Mary Betters does every month.
I grew up as a child. There's days I went to school with nothing to eat, or I would load my pockets with mashed potatoes. I understand, the issue with poverty or not, having enough food or the food's not there. So.
But this is a lot of work. I mean, the truck is loaded, right,
It
Tina?
is. It is.
It is, yeah.
But it makes you feel good. I mean, we know we're helping people that don't have any food, especially the end of the month. The third week is when we start running out of food.
Could I just ask you, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, it helps me out a lot, and I appreciate it. It does come in handy, especially when you have grandbabies and kids.
When we met up with this dynamic duo earlier today, they were at the market buying a supplemental drink just for Dorothy's daughter with a medical condition. These ladies don't just deliver food to the blue boxes. In some cases, they go door to door with more than just food. They have crafts, nutritional supplements, and nourishment for the mind, body, and soul.
What does this mean to you that they bring you all this stuff?
It helped me. I love baking, so if I'm constantly doing something, I'm not having the urge to do drugs or, having suicidal thoughts.
But I'm hearing you're doing more than giving food.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. We
Yeah.
definitely do, because, there's other needs out there, especially with the COVID and the social distancing, more domestic violence and more, other issues.
And we're making sure that whenever we put food in one of the food pantries in the Penguin Trailer Park or over on off of South Ave there, we make sure that we include masks.
Masks are a reality in 2021. When the pandemic first arrived, there were not enough masks for first responders. And some in our community took that as a call to action.
It was a time-consuming process for the sewers, and they really came together, and they were amazing. We must have had at one point 15 people who were doing sewing for us for this project, and we're able to work with them to eventually make not just cloth masks with a lining, which they provided, but eventually about 2,000 blue and white masks that were for patients and for nurses who needed PPE when they were unable to get it in the beginning of the epidemics.
It was about taking back some power.
Yeah.
I think when this whole thing sort of was thrust upon us, this pandemic was thrust upon us, I think many of us felt helpless, powerless. And for me, it was like I could control something.
I think we have an opportunity now to really pull our communities together and be concerned about each individual that we have contact with as a person, not as a political party or as a job. And I think that that's where the strength of Cortland comes from. We care about our people.
That takes many forms, from feeding neighbors to large-scale mass productions to vaccinating the community itself. At the SUNY Cortland Ice Rink, one of the area's largest vaccination efforts is underway, operating largely thanks to the volunteers from the community.
Oh, I'm going to look back on this and be like, I was on the front line through the pandemic.
I do feel good, and we've been so cooped up for a year, just being able to be out in the community with our community members, seeing people and talking to them and answering their questions and concerns about the vaccine. It makes me feel good. And by volunteering my time, I feel like I'm giving back to the community that I was born and raised in, and there's a purpose for what we're doing tonight. And I feel really good when I go home after working these clinics.
And nobody's paying me for it. I mean, they do say thank you, they give you chocolate, they give you water, it's all good things. So.
You can actually see it in their face that there's somebody there that does care. Most of them, yes, and some say thanks. Well, we say we're here to watch you, we're here for you, and they like that. I mean, it feels like you're helping, you're doing something that doesn't cost you anything other than a few moments of your time, an expression of how you feel about other people. Doesn't hurt. As a matter of fact, it actually feels good when you're all done, especially when you can put a smile on somebody's face.
It's a good feeling. Like I said, it's a big job, and I know I can contribute things, even if it's just by sharing a story or talking to people when they come in or just giving them plain instructions.
And I want people to be happy in their community. I want this to be a good place for kids to be. I want this to be a good place for our seniors to be. It's a nice small hometown that needs more people doing things for this small community, and we have a ton of givers in our community.
Are you exhausted?
I'm exhausted. Everybody at the health department is exhausted. I think people are, in general, in the community are exhausted. They're tired of wearing masks. They're tired of not being able to go anywhere. We're all tired of it. But what keeps me going is this sort of thing. If I didn't have something to get up for in the morning, why would I get up? So I get up, I go to work, and then I come here at night. I was on the fence. I was unsure. I was very nervous about COVID. I was very nervous about exposure. The very first clinic I was asked to work at, when I went home that night, my heart was filled. It was filled with happiness. It was filled with joy and gratitude. And I haven't gone home since. I mean, I want to be here at every clinic because of that reason. I feel like I need to give back to my community. It's the right thing to do.
Give back, to lift up, to support others. Building bridges. Not always an easy choice, but one these people and countless others around the world are making in an effort to make their communities a better place.